Have you ever wondered how to tell search engines exactly what parts of your website they should and shouldn't crawl? Well, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're tackling the essentials of Robots.txt file and showing you how to optimize it for better SEO using fantastic tools like RankMath SEO. That's right, we're focusing on optimizing your robots.txt file for SEO with RankMath. I'll walk you through what a robots.txt file is, why it's super important for your website's SEO, and I'll show you some real-world examples to understand it better, including my own website. Let's dive in. First of all, what is a robots.txt file? Simply put, it's a text file on your website that gives instructions to web bots or robots and most importantly, search engine crawlers like Googlebot. It's like a set of guidelines telling them which pages or areas of your site they can access and which ones are off limits. Now, why should you care about this for your SEO? Think of it this way. You want Google to find and index all your awesome content so people can discover it in search results, but sometimes you have some parts of your website that aren't meant for public consumption, like your admin dashboard, login pages, or maybe even some duplicate content. A properly set up robots.txt file helps Googlebot or any other bot crawl your site efficiently, focusing on what really matters and avoiding unnecessary areas. This saves your website's crawl budget and makes sure Google prioritizes indexing your best content. Basically, a good robots.txt setup helps Google understand your site better, which can definitely give your SEO a nice boost. Alright, now for the really interesting part. We are going to dive into the robots.txt file of a few different websites using RankMath's free robots.txt testing tool. This allows us to look at how various sites handle search engine crawlers and bots, and it will give me the chance to explain all the things to you. First up, I have my own website, BloggerSelf.com. As you can see here, I have extracted or the txt file already, but we can also do a live demo over here. Let's see. To show you the demo, let's start with the URL option first. So I'll enter my website's URL over here and then append robots.txt. And you can do this for any other website, by the way. As you can see, I can see my robots.txt file over here. And you can do the same for any other website. If you want to save time or you already know how to read this file and check for errors. Otherwise, click on the link in the description below and you should end up on this website over here. Here's how this page looks like. You can enter the domain of any website here. Like for example, let me enter BloggerSelf.com over here. You can also select your user agent over here. We can go at, let's say, this one, or you can not select if you want, but or you can select Googlebot, whatever you want basically. And as you can see, if I click on test, here's what the robot.txt file looks like for this website, bloggerself.com, which is my website. And let me explain, I guess. So as you can see, no unknown rules found, no contradicting or unclear rules found. So it's error free. But if we had some error, it would have shown us basically. Okay, so the first line over here, as you can see, user agent and then asterisk over here is super common. The asterisk here is like a wildcard, meaning these rules apply to all web robots. Then we see disallow in the path to your WP admin dashboard. And again, this is a standard and really important rule for any WordPress website like this one. It tells all the robots or bots, including Googlebot, not to access the WP admin directory. Why is this important? Well, this is where the backend of the website lives. You don't want search engines or bots scrolling around there. Next, we have allow and then this path over here to admin ajax php file. This might seem a bit contradictory after disallowing WP admin path completely, but it's actually quite smart. Admin-ajax.php is a file WordPress uses for various functions, and sometimes Google needs to access it for certain features to work correctly. So this line specifically allows access to just that one file within the otherwise disallowed WP admin directory. Finally, we see a sitemap directive at line 5, as you can see over here, and it is an excellent practice to boost your SEO. This line tells search engines or any other bot the location of the XML sitemap for your website. Think of the sitemap as a roadmap of all the important pages of your website. By including it here, I'm making it easier for search engines to discover and index all my valuable content. Overall, this is a pretty standard and well configured robots.txt file for a WordPress website. And by the way, this is generated by default with my Rank My SEO plugin. Next, let's take a look at bloggerspassion.com. This is one of the websites that I have chosen to display over here. It's basically random. I didn't think much about it. Let's test this website. And as you can see, here's the robots.txt file. Wait us for this one as well. Let's talk about the differences over here. Here we see something interesting right at the top. User agent, Googlebot image, followed by allow, and then the path to the uploads directory. This is specifically for Google's image crawler. It's telling the Googlebot image that it is allowed to access the following directory. This makes perfect sense because this is where all their images are stored, and they definitely want Google Images to be able to crawl and index them. Then we have another user agent block over here with asterisk, as you can see, meaning these rules apply to all of the web robots, followed by disallow, and then we see some paths and files mentioned over here. We see disallow CGI bin and disallow WP admin, which are standard for security and preventing access to the server scripts and the WordPress backend. They've also disallowed their comments feed directory, as you can see over here, and the trackbacks. These are often not necessary for indexing and can sometimes create duplicate content issues, so disallowing them can be a good practice. The same goes for disallow and then this xml.rpc.php file and then disallow readme.html file. Obviously, these files usually don't need to be indexed. Next, we see a few allow directives within the general user agent block. These particular directories are important because these directories contain JavaScript and CSS files that are essential for the website's functionality and rendering. You want Google to be able to access this, but that's not that important in some cases. Next, we have allow and then WP contain cache minify directory. This directory suggests that they are using a caching plugin to speed up their website, and this line ensures Google can access those optimized minified files as well. And just like my website, BloggerSelf.com, they've also allowed access to their admin-ajax.php file. And finally, they have two sitemap directives, one of their post sitemap and another one for their page sitemap. This is even more specific and helps Google find all its different types of content. This is a very well thought out robots.txt file. Now let's move on to one of my friends' website, STMEonline.com's robot.txt file. As you can see, this one is quite a bit longer, but essentially we see the same pattern here as well. Let's talk about it. We start with the familiar user agent block over here with asterisk and allow WP uploads directory, ensuring all robots can access their images. They also disallow their readme.html file and the WP admin directory, which we have seen before. Interestingly, they are also disallowing WP content and then plugins directory. This might be intentional if they have specific reasons not to want search engines looking at the plugins file directory. However, sometimes plugins add important content or functionality that Google might need to see. So this is something that you should consider very carefully. They also disallow this /recommends directory because they are just affiliate links and they don't want them to be indexed, obviously. We again see disallowing of the comments feed with this /comment/feed path over here, and then trackback, as well as index.php file and then xml.rpc file, etc. The lines that follow over here from the line number 11, as you can see, are designed to prevent crawling of comment pages, search result pages, and potentially paginated content or specific post IDs accessed via query parameters. The lines like this one over here and the following ones are using wildcards to disallow any URLs ending with or containing these following patterns. This is a more aggressive way to try and prevent the crawling of comment-related pages and feeds across the entire site. They also have multiple sitemap directives, which is great for pointing search engines to their post page and even coupon sitemaps. This shows they're being thorough in guiding search engine crawlers. Now, what's really unique about STMEonline.com's robot.txt file is this massive list of user agent followed by disallow and then the complete website basically, because it's just using a forward slash over here. What this means is they are specifically blocking a huge number of individual bots and crawlers from accessing their entire website. If you see a user agent followed by a specific name, like for example this devil, and then I don't know what this is, Domcom bot, drip, and a lot more, as you can see over here. So if you see a user agent followed by a specific name like these, and then disallow and followed by a forward slash, it means they are telling that particular bot to stay away from the whole website. This is often done to block potentially harmful bots, scrappers, or bots that don't respect crawling etiquette and might overload the server. It's a very comprehensive list, and I can see that it is also trying to block some SEO spy tools. While this can be beneficial for website security and performance, it is also important to make sure that you are not accidentally blocking any legitimate or helpful bots. Also, it's important to understand that adding these lines does not necessarily prevent them from accessing your website. It's just an instruction or request to the bots, and it's on them if they want to respect your website's request or not. To block most of the bots like these, you should be utilizing security or firewall plugins such as Solid Security or Sucuri. I'll leave you the links in the description for you to check them out, including a detailed review article for the Solid Security plugin. Now let's get back to the topic and check one last robot.txt file, and this one's going to be the rankman.com itself. Here's how their robots.txt file looks like. Right at the top, we see a comment indicating that this file is automatically added by the RankMath SEO plugin, which is pretty cool. Then we have the standard user agent followed by disallow and allow directives over here. These are all familiar to us now for any WordPress websites. They also have allow and then this particular directory over here. This line specifically allows access to a particular endpoint within the WordPress REST API that RankMath is likely using for checking plugin updates. This is necessary for the plugin to function correctly. And of course, they have their sitemap directory over here, as you can see, pointing to their main sitemap, similar to my website basically. Further down, we see another user agent block with a specific rule, disallow, and then this particular directory. This suggests they might have a specific plugin related to importing and exporting content, and they have chosen to disallow crawling of its upload directory. This could be for various reasons, such as the content in that directory not being intended for public indexing. Overall, RankMath's own robot.txt file is clean, efficient, and focuses on the essentials for a WordPress website, while also allowing access to specific functionalities needed by their plugin. So as we have seen by looking at these different websites, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to robots.txt, but there are definitely some common best practices. We saw how almost all of them disallow the WP admin directory and include a sitemap directive. We also saw some interesting specific rules like BloggerSelf allowing Googlebot image to access their uploads directory and StemmyOnline.com's extensive list of blocked bots. So to close things out, here are a few things to keep in mind when optimizing your robots.txt. Always disallow sensitive areas like your admin login and backend pages. Think about the crawl budget. If you have sections of your website that aren't crucial for SEO, consider disallowing them, such as the comments and search result pages. Definitely include your sitemap directive. It's like a roadmap for search engines and it's very important for SEO. Use RankMath's free robots.txt tester to check for errors and ensure your file is working as intended. You can find the link in the description below. Next, don't disallow important content that you want to rank in the search results. This might seem obvious, but it's a common mistake that people do. And finally, analyze the robots.txt file of successful websites in your niche to get ideas, but always tailor yours to your specific need. I hope this breakdown of robots.txt file and how to analyze them with RankMath's free robots.txt checker tool has been helpful for you. Remember, even a small optimization here can make a difference in how search engines see your website. Make sure to check out the link in the description and test your robot.txt file to ensure the best SEO optimization for your website. I'll see you in the next one.